Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about Mars transiting into Gemini for September 2024. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Okay, so Mars is transiting into Gemini. This is going to start August 26th and it'll end October 20th. Now, depending on where you are in the world, could be a day after. But when we look at this, we're looking from the Ascendant, from the Moon, and from the Sun. Now, why? Ascendant is the sign that was rising in the east at the time you were born. It sets the map of your life. So, transits from the Ascendant show what's going to happen to you and in your life. Whereas the Moon is your mind and your emotions. So, what transits from the Moon show what you're thinking and what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're dealing with personally. Like, you may actually resonate more with Moon's transits because that's what you're actually experiencing. Whereas from the Ascendant, you may not be resonating with that, but the people that you know would see that. Now, Sun. Sun is your soul. Sun shows what karmas you're here to experience based on, well, your karma. So we see the transits showing that as well. That's why we look at all three, to get the full picture of what's going on. Can it be a little difficult, looking at all of that and combining it? Yes, it can. But that's what I'm here for. Okay. Now, these are your Vedic Sidereal placements, not your Western Tropical. So, if you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, you can get a very detailed Vedic Sidereal birth chart from my website, or you can look up a far less detailed version through a birth chart calculator online. Okay. So, we're going to kick this off with Aries, like always. So, let's get into it. Alright, so, Aries. Mars has moved into the sign of Gemini, your third house. Now, third house is younger siblings. It's your cousins, your neighbors. Third house is communication of all kinds, including writing. It's eighth from the eighth house. So it's the higher form of sudden ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the third house. It's the house of effort. Third house is media of all kinds. It's the internet. It's social media. It's your skills. It's art. It's sports. So, Mars is transiting here. Mars is your energy and your drive. Mars is violence. Mars is cuts and burns, accidents. So all this is in the third house. What can we see with this? Well, this house is going to be energized. You could be learning new skills. You could be very active on social media. You could be watching more media, watching more movies, playing more video games, listening to more music. Also, third house is travel. Especially short distance travel, but it can also be long distance travel because it's 12th from the 4th house of the home. It's the furthest place away from your homeland. You could be, engaging in sports, working on your art. But there can be conflict with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbors. Be careful with that. You can be a little keyboard warrior online as well. Okay, in trouble on social media. Also, your younger siblings and cousins and neighbors could deal with cuts and burns. There could be a mishap in the kitchen for them. Now, you also need to be careful because third house is this portion of the body from the shoulder, top of the shoulder, to bottom of the hand, your fingertips. So that's where you could get a cut or a burn if you're not careful. So be aware of that. Now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a fourth aspect of conquest falling on your sixth house. Well, sixth house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your enemies. It's your pets. It's your everyday work, your everyday routines. It's health issues and accidents. Sixth house is debt. So, this house, well, sixth house is also competition as well. So it can even be sports as well. So, with this, we see you want to conquer this house. You can be overly domineering with your enemies right now. Usually that's a good thing. But you can also be overly domineering with your coworkers. Be careful with that. On the positive, though, this means you can really, get to work. Get in better shape. Health improving. Because Mars is giving you the energy to fight that battle. If you're involved in competition, this is great. Mars is great here for that. But yeah. Now, seventh aspect of Mars is about confrontation. And that's falling on your ninth house. Ninth house is father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It can also be religion, the law. So religious people, legal people like lawyers, judges. Ninth house is also higher education. So you can get into conflict with people in these areas. You can get in conflict with father figures, with your teachers. You can get into conflict with legal, people. Don't want to get in trouble with the judge. Also, you can get into religious disputes as well. So be careful with this. Ninth house can also be foreign people. It can represent long distance places, so you can get into conflict with them as well. So be careful with that. Now, eighth aspect of Mars brings sudden ups and downs and transformation. And that's falling on your 10th house. 10th house is your career. It's your status. It's your workplace. Your managers, your bosses. 10th house is government, especially national government. But also, 10th house is your karmic actions. The karma that you must perform. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, this house still matters. So, there can be a major change with your career, with your status, with your fame. There can be a major change with a manager or a boss. Maybe they transfer and you get a new manager. There could be big changes in the workplace. Maybe your workplace is being renovated. There can also be a big transformation of your karma during this time. Alright. But that's what I have for you, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So, Mars is moving into... One second. It's hot in here. Okay, Taurus. It's damn near 100 degrees outside today. And that's interesting. My cards just fell. One second. Okay, Taurus. Because of that, I'm pulling cards. This is how we do things around here. Let's see. Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. And karma with the haystack. You will reap what you have sown. Interesting. Okay, so some of you may have been going through a difficult time. Especially with family and finances. As I was just about to talk about. Before gravity wanted to interrupt me. Okay. Alright. But yeah. Second house where Mars is transiting is family and finances. So, Mars is your energy and drive. The second house is being energized. Second house, like I said, it's family, finances, it's your speech. So here we see this house is being energized. This shows making more money. So that's a very good thing. But there is a downside to this. There will be conflict with your family. For sure, Mars is conflict. So there can definitely be conflict here. Also, Mars is cuts and burns. Second house is the face, but it can be the head in general. Mainly the face. So, you could get a cut or a burn on your face if you're not careful. Now, when it comes to finances, though, yes, you will be making more money, but you will also be spending a lot of money, especially on essentials. Why? Mars is a soldier. Mars is all about this physical world. So Mars wants to acquire resources. That's what Mars cares about. So, you're going to be spending a fair bit of money on physical goods, on food, on shelter, clothing, that kind of thing. Okay. But, let's talk about the aspects now. So, Mars is a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on the fifth house. Fifth house is children. It's students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games, education. It's speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. It's also sports and creativity and art. So, you want to conquer these areas of life. Maybe you're wanting to have kids. Mars energizing the second house of family, aspecting the fifth house of children. That could be the case for some of you. But also, you could be wanting to gain through speculation. Investing in the stock market, that kind of thing. Also, maybe you're having conflict with your family because you're not doing well in school. That could also be something going on here. You can see that as well. But if you have children, or students and subordinates, you can be overly domineering with them. So be careful with that. Now, seventh aspect is confrontation, and it's falling on your eighth house. Eighth house is your in-laws. It's occultists. It's researchers. Surgeons. It's hidden people in the world. So, you can get into conflicts with all these people. For most of you, it'll probably be your in-laws or your partner's family. But, for some of you, it could be these other people I mentioned as well. So, yeah, conflict with your family, conflict with your in-laws. Sorry, Taurus. Also, loud-ass motorcycle going down the road. Okay. Now, the eighth aspect is falling on your ninth house. Ninth house is, well, first off, eighth aspect is sudden ups and downs and transformation. Now, the ninth house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's higher education. It's religion, philosophy. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. So this can also be foreign travel. Ninth house is also the law, if I forgot to mention that. Ninth house is publishing as well. And it's your luck and your fortune. So we see there can be sudden changes here. Maybe there's a sudden change in your religious or philosophical views. Maybe there's sudden changes with your father or father figure. Maybe there's sudden changes with your guru. Sudden changes in your education. Or maybe you're suddenly traveling. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Taurus. But, like the card showed, things are going to get better for you. Alright. Moving on to Gemini. Gemini. Mars is moving into your ascendant, or moon sign, or sun sign. Whichever Gemini you happen to be. So, for all of you, Gemini is your first house. First house is you. It's your physical body. It's your health. Mars is your energy and drive. So here, your body's being energized. You're being more driven overall. Mars in the first house makes someone like a superhero. You feel like you can do it all. But there's a downside to this. That downside is Mars is conflict. Mars is cuts, burns, accidents. So we clearly see you will get a cut or a burn on your body during this transit. Sorry. Hopefully it won't be too bad. You'll live. I just got one a few days ago. It's alright. It's alright, Gemini. But so we do see it does have its positives, but it also has its negatives. It is a malefic planet after all. Okay. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a fourth aspect of conquest falling on the fourth house. So, fourth house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles, cars. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, here we see you're going to want to be in control of the home, of your vehicles. You're going to want to control your mother. Be overly domineering with her. Be overly domineering with the people in your home. That's what Mars does with its fourth aspect. You want to be in control. You want those things, or you want to make them better. So, that's what the fourth aspect of Mars is going to show. So try not to be too overly domineering with people. Now, seventh aspect is confrontation, and that's falling on the seventh house. So, seventh house is relationships, business partner. Seventh house is the masses, all of the people you meet out in the world. So here we see there can be conflict with a lot of people, but especially in relationships and especially with your business partner. So be careful with that. You don't want to, ruin a good thing. Hopefully a good thing. Alright. Now the eighth aspect is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. And that's falling on your eighth house. So eighth house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's other people's finances. Eighth house is taxes, wills, estates, legacies. It's death. It's surgeries. Eighth house is sun ups and downs, transformation. It's sex. It's the occult. It's your psychological baggage. So here we see there can be sudden events that take place with your in-laws. You can suddenly become involved in the occult. Start learning astrology, tarot, palmistry, all these other forms of the occult out there. There can be sudden changes in your research. Maybe you're suddenly having a sex life. Maybe you're suddenly getting a surgery that you've been wanting to get. Or needing to get. Maybe there's some sudden change in your joint finances. Hopefully for the better. But alright. That's what I have for you though, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Alright, Cancer. So, Mars has moved into your 12th house in the sign of Gemini. Mars is your energy and drive. And it's in the 12th house. Well, 12th house. 12th house is spirituality. It's bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. It's isolation. Anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's foreign places, foreign people. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because investing money, you have to temporarily lose money. It's multinational companies. Also, the area of the body, it's your feet. So, Mars is conflict. Mars is cuts, burns, accidents. So, here we see you can get a cut or a burn on your feet. So, be careful with that. But, mainly, this house is being energized. So, you could, start investing. You could start becoming more spiritual. Mars here especially is good for physical spiritual activities. Like yoga, going on like mountain retreats, that kind of thing. But there can be conflict with foreign people. There can also be foreign travel with this, though, because foreign travel is being energized now. You can have more of a sex life, because 12th house is bed pleasure. But on the downside with this is good for a sex life, but it's bad for sleep. So, sorry, trade-offs. Mars here makes it difficult to sleep. Now, 12th house being losses, though, losses are being energized. So, if you aren't careful, there can be overspending during this, transit. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So, Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings. It's your cousins, your neighbors. 3rd house is your skills. It's sports, it's art, it's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's media. It's 8th from the 8th house. So it's a higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. It's internet. It's social media. It's also a house of travel. Usually short distance travel, but it is also 12th from the 4th house. Furthest place away from your home. So, with this, we see you can be overly domineering with your younger siblings. Overly domineering with your cousins, with your neighbors. Overly domineering on social media. You can really want to learn new skills during this time. Be very domineering in sports. Really work on your art. Travel. Definitely there can be a travel bug with Mars in the 12th house and transit. Now, let's talk about the 7th aspect. 7th aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 6th house. So, 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your pets. So, you can get into conflicts with all these people and animals. But, on the positive, 6th house is also your enemies. So now you are confronting your enemies. So that can be a good thing. If you can defeat them. I wish you luck, Cancer. Alright. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars falls on your 7th house. 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. So, 7th house is relationships. It's business partner. Here we see this is transforming. There are sudden changes here. Maybe you're suddenly getting into a relationship. Maybe a relationship is suddenly coming to an end. There could be a transformation of your business. Maybe you're getting a new business partner. These are things that we can see with this. But alright, moving on to Leo. Leo, I need a drink. 1 second. Okay. Alright, Leo. So, Mars has moved into Gemini, your 11th house. So, Mars is your energy and your drive. 11th house is your older siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends. It's your large network circles. It's also large organizations. It's your hopes, wishes, desires. It's stock market. It's gains. So, this house is being energized now. You can be making more money with this. You can be making more friends. You could be fulfilling your hopes, wishes, and desires because the energy is being put forth there. But on the negative side, there can be conflict with your older siblings. There can be conflict with your friends, with your network circle, with large organizations, with your paternal aunts and uncles. Be careful with that. Also, 11th house is the area of the leg below the knee. So knee down to your ankle. So you can get a cut or a burn there because Mars is cuts, burns, and accidents. Sorry. Everybody deals with them though. Alright, now let's talk about the aspects. There will be a fourth aspect of conquest falling on your second house. So, second house is your family. It's your finances, your earnings, your savings. It's your speech. So here we see you can be overly domineering with your family. That's the negative side of this. But this is very good for making money. Because Mars is energizing the 11th house of gain and aspecting with its aspect of conquest on the second house of earnings and savings. This is very good for making money. Now, 7th aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 5th house. So, this can be negative, because 5th house is children. 5th house is students, subordinates. So, you can get into conflicts with these people. Conflicts with people in an educational environment as well. So, if you have kids, no, this can be difficult for them. They could be struggling because you are being too harsh. So, be careful with that if you have kids. Now, the 8th aspect is falling on your 6th house. 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. So, the 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's debt. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's health issues, accidents. It's competitions. Those can also be sports. So here we see there are sudden changes here. There can be a sudden change with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your coworkers, with your pets, with your enemies. Maybe you suddenly make an enemy. Maybe you suddenly defeat an enemy. Now, we also see you could suddenly take on debt or suddenly bring your debts to an end. Overcome your debts because of all the money that you're making. Hopefully. Hopefully you're making money. But there can definitely be sudden changes here. Maybe you get a new pet. We can also see that. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Leo. Moving on to Virgo. Virgo. 1 second, I need a drink. Okay, Virgo. So, Mars is transiting in your 10th house. In the sign of Gemini. So, 10th house is your career. It's your status. It's your managers, your bosses. It's your workplace. It's the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, this house is still important. And Mars is your energy and your drive. So here you're very driven in your career. You have the energy to get things done. But on the negative, there can be conflict with your managers, with your bosses. There can be conflict in the workplace in general. Also, 10th house can be government. And national government, mainly. So, there can be conflict with government officials. If you know there's a chance of that, be careful. But also, Mars is cuts, burns, accidents. And here it's in the 10th house. 10th house represents your knees. So, the knee, the back of the knee, whatever that area is called, because I swear I can't remember to save my soul. But, you can get cuts or burns there. Be careful with that. Or some kind of accident, broken bone. Be careful. Alright, Now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars is a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on your first house. First house is you. It's your physical health. It's your body. So here we see you want to overcome any health issues that you're having. You want to be more physically fit, more active, in better shape. This can be very good. This is one of the reasons why Mars is, exalted originally in the 10th house, has directional strength originally in the 10th house. Because, to succeed in this world, for the most part, or at least it makes it easier to succeed in this world, having good health is important. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 4th house. So 4th house is your mother figures. 4th house is it's the people of your homeland. It's the people in your home. So there can be conflicts with these people right now. Conflicts with your mother figures. Conflicts with the people in your home. Especially if you're married. Mars is energizing the workplace. You think that's necessarily good for marriage? No, you can be overly focused, putting too much energy into your career, ignoring your family. That's not good. Ignoring the people in your home. Okay. So, try to avoid that. Now, 8th aspect of Mars is falling on your 5th house. So, 8th aspect of Mars is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. And 5th house. 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games. It's education. It's politics. It's creativity, art, sports. So, here we see there can be sudden changes here. Maybe you're suddenly having children. Maybe there are sudden changes for your children right now. Also, 5th house is speculative gain through business, through stock market, through gambling. So there can be sudden changes in your speculative gains as well. There can be a sudden change in your education, sudden change in your creative pursuits, in the sports that you're involved in. Sudden change in romance. Maybe you're suddenly starting a romance here. But alright. That's what I have for you, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So, Mars has moved into your 9th house. Mars is your energy and your drive. 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. 9th house is long distance travel, pilgrimage. 9th house is publishing as well. So, Mars can show conflict though. So there can definitely be conflict with the people in this house. Conflict with your father figures, with those mentors, teachers, gurus, with religious people, with people involved in the law, lawyers, judges. So, you need to be careful with that. Also, 9th house is higher education. There can be some difficulty there when it comes to, conflict. But this is giving you the energy to pursue that education, to travel. There could be more dealings with your father or father figure. Hopefully, in a good way. Also, you could be publishing something during this time. Also, 9th house is luck and fortune. They're being energized right now. That can be a very good thing. Now, let's talk about before we talk about the aspects. Also, Mars is cuts, burns, accidents. 9th house is the thighs. So, you could have a cut, burn, accident, broken bone in the thigh region. Be careful. That's just what Mars does. Alright, now let's talk about the aspects. So, Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 12th house. Well, 12th house is foreign people, foreign places. So once again, definitely there can be a travel bug here. 9th and 12th house. Both are houses of travel. But also, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. It's isolation. Anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is losses. Of all kinds, including financial. Also, 12th house is investing. Because to invest money, you have to temporarily lose money. So, we see Mars is energizing your luck and fortune. Aspecting the house of investments. Could be good. Depends on your dasha, but we do see that is becoming active for you. If that's something that you're inclined to do. But especially for travel, especially for religious pursuits, spiritual pursuits, this is a very good transit for that. Now, 7th aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings. It's your cousins. It's your neighbors. It's social media. So here we see, you can get into conflict with all these people. You can be a keyboard warrior online. Don't do it. Don't come at me in the comments. Alright. Now, the 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. And that's falling on your 4th house. So, 4th house is mother figures. It's your home, land, real estate. It's your vehicles, your cars. It's your comfort, your happiness. So, there can be sudden changes with your mother. There can be sudden changes in your home. Maybe you're getting a new home. Maybe you're renovating a home. Maybe you're getting a new car, repairing a car. But we do see there will be changes here. Alright, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, Mars has moved into your 8th house in the sign of Gemini. So, 8th house. 8th house is your... Well, first off, Mars is your energy and your drive. 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's a house of sex. 8th house is transformation, sun ups and downs. It's the occult. It's research. It's surgeries. 8th house is your psychological baggage. So, here we see, well, also, this is a house of death. It's a house of wills, estates, legacies, insurance, taxes. Okay. So, we see this house as being energized. But Mars is also conflict. There can be conflict with your in-laws. There can be conflict with people that deal in the occult. With researchers, with hidden people. Because that's what the 8th house is tied to. There can even be conflicts within your own mind. There can be psychological issues that you're dealing with right now. Because 8th house is psychological baggage. And remember, Mars co-rules the 8th house originally. So, there can be internal struggles here, is what I'm saying. But also, this can be good for joint finances in relationships and in business. Mars is energizing that house. There can be more financial gain. Mars is energizing transformation, energizing sudden events. Sudden things can be taking place right now. If you need a surgery, Mars is allowing that to happen. Now, Mars is also cuts, burns, and accidents. So, we see there can be a cut, a burn, an accident, broken bones. But, this will be tied to your 8th house, which ironically is your butt. 8th house is the anus. So, most likely what that would be there for people is like hemorrhoids. Yeah. Anyways, so you can see that with this. But, I'm saying but too much. Alright, moving on. The 4th aspect of Mars is about conquest. It's falling on the 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your network circles. It's large organizations. I need a minute, Scorpio. 1 second. Okay. Quit acting like you're a grade schooler, Zach. Alright. Anyways, it's your network circles. It's large organizations. It's your friends, if I forgot to mention that. 11th house is stock market. It's gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So, here we see you want to conquer these people, these areas of life. You can be overly domineering with your elder siblings, maybe over an inheritance. Same thing with your paternal aunts and uncles. You can be overly domineering with your friends. You can also suddenly make new friends. Why? Mars is aspecting from the 8th house of sudden events. So suddenly making friends. That could be something that happens. There can be sudden gains here with this aspect. Suddenly fulfilling those hopes, wishes, and desires. Wanting to become in charge of a large organization. That could also be seen. Because you want to conquer this house. Alright. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. That's falling on your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family. So, there can be conflicts with your family. Conflict with your in-laws, with Mars in the 8th house, and conflict with your family. Sorry, Scorpio. Them's the breaks. But the 8th aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on the 3rd house. So, 3rd house is your younger siblings. It's your cousins, your neighbors. It's your skills. It's 8th from the 8th house. So it's a higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. So definitely sudden events could be taking place. Especially transformation through self-effort. That's what the 3rd house really is. 3rd house is art. It's sports. It's communications of all kinds, including writing. It's travel. Both short distance, primarily, and long distance, because it's 12th from the 4th house. It's the furthest place away from your homeland. 3rd house is also the internet, media, social media. 3rd house is a lot. But we see there will be sudden changes here. Sudden changes with your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. Suddenly learning a new skill. Suddenly wanting to become artistic. Or get involved in sports. Suddenly writing. Suddenly traveling. These are things we can see with this. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius. So, Mars has transited into your 7th house in the sign of Gemini. Mars is your energy and your drive. So your energy and your drive is going towards the 7th house right now. 7th house is relationships. It's business partner. It's the masses. All of the people you meet out in the world is the 7th house. So here we see you could be starting a new relationship, or there could be a lot going on in your relationship. Same thing with your business. But Mars is a malefic. There can be conflict here. There can be conflict in relationships. There can be conflict with your business partner. There can be conflict with lots of people because you're dealing with a lot more people. Not everybody's going to get along with you. So we see that as well with this. Now, Mars is also cuts, burns, broken bones, accidents. And that's tied to the 7th house. Well, 7th house is the groin region. So, all the cuts, burns, accidents you could imagine could possibly happen there. Hopefully they won't. Alright. Now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is the 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 10th house. 10th house is your career. It's your status. It's your workplace, your managers, your bosses. It's government, especially national government. It's the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So it matters even if you're retired. So here we see you want to achieve status. You want to achieve fame. You want to succeed in your career. You want to overtake your managers and your bosses and the people in your workplace. You want to be the one in charge. Be careful with that. Try not to be overly aggressive about it. Now, seventh aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on the first house. So, hopefully this isn't you getting into arguments with yourself. But most likely this is lots of people having conflict with you. It's because Mars is in the seventh house of all of the people in the world. The masses. Also relationship partner, business partner. These people could be getting into conflict with you. Now, eighth aspect of Mars is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your second house. Second house is your family. It's your finances, your earnings, your savings. So, here we see there could be sudden changes in the family during this time. You know, maybe somebody in your family is having a kid. Or maybe they just have a lot going on. There can be a sudden change in your finances, hopefully for the better. Making more money, hopefully. That's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn. So, Mars has transited into your sixth house in the sign of Gemini. And Mars is your energy and your drive. So, sixth house. Sixth house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's health issues, accidents. It's debt. It's competition, so this can also be sports. So here we see Mars is a malefic. There can be conflict with these people. And hopefully not with your pets. Leave the pets out of it. But there can be conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles. With your coworkers. Now, it's a good thing to defeat your enemies. But for those other people, maybe not. But also, yes, this can show accidents are being energized. There can definitely be accidents during this time. And Mars naturally represents cuts, burns, bruises, broken bones, accidents. Now, being in the sixth house in general, yes, it can be any kind of accident, really. But sixth house is also, in particular, the lower stomach and the lower back. So, that's most likely where this could take place. Now, Mars here is very good for competition. It's very good for sports. It's very good for overcoming your debt. Here, Mars is allowing you to fight that battle. And it's giving you the energy to work. To do your work. So, it does have its positives. Now, seventh aspect of Mars is all about, well, first off, I'm skipping the fourth aspect. Fourth aspect of Mars is about conquest. And it's falling on the ninth house. Well, ninth house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's higher education. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's travel. Long distance travel. Pilgrimage. So it can also represent foreign people. It's your luck and your fortune. So, we see you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to have more luck in life. You get into conflict with your father, with your teachers, in your education. You can get into conflict with people over philosophical or religious issues. You can get into legal battles, especially with Mars in the 6th house, because 6th house is legal disputes. 6th house is fights. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. And that's falling in your 12th house. 12th house is spiritual people. 12th house is foreign people. 12th house is people in hospitals, jails, asylums, monasteries. So you can get into conflict with all these people. If you have a health issue, don't start shit with your doctor. Please. They are trying to help you. Okay. Now, 8th aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on the 1st house. 1st house is you, your physical health, your body. There can be sudden changes in your health, hopefully for the better. Hopefully you're using Mars to, work out, get in better shape, be healthier. But yes, this can show sudden health issues coming up. So be careful. Now, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, 1 second. Need a drink. Okay. So, Mars has moved into your 5th house in the sign of Gemini. Well, Mars is your energy and your drive. In the 5th house. 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games. It's education. It's politics. It's creativity, arts, sports. 5th house is speculative gains through stock market, through business, through gambling. So this house is being energized. Meaning you can make money through speculation. You have the energy to pursue your creative and artistic pursuits. You have the energy to do well in sports. You have the ability to fight in your education, to achieve what you want out of your education. Here, romance is being energized. You could begin a new romance with Mars here in the 5th house. But Mars can be a negative planet. It's a malefic after all. So there can be conflict in politics. There can be conflict in your educational environment. There can be conflict with your students, with your subordinates at work, with your children. Also, Mars is naturally cuts, burns, bruises, broken bones, accidents, and it's in the 5th house. 5th house is your upper belly and the middle of your back. So, this is where we could see a cut, burn, bruise, hopefully not a broken bone, taking place. Alright, now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest falling on the 8th house. So, 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's finances. It's sex. 8th house is the occult. It's research. It's death. Wills, estates, legacies, inheritance. It's psychological baggage. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. And it's also surgery. So, here we see Mars is in the 5th house of romance. A lot of people, most people, when they have romance, they want to have sex. So, 4th aspect of conquest on the 8th house of sex. Hopefully y'all are getting consent. Now, 8th house is sun ups and downs and transformation. So, you want to conquer transformation. You want things to change in your life during this transit. 8th house is surgeries. If you need a surgery, you want that to happen. 8th house is research. So, you want to accomplish your goals in your research, especially if it's required for your education. You want to achieve those joint finances in relationships and in business, especially because Mars is in the 5th house of speculative gain. Alright. Now, 7th aspect is all about confrontation. It's falling on the 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends. It's your network circle. It's large organizations. You can get into conflict with all these people. Be careful. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on the 12th house. 8th aspect is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. Now, the 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. Once again, this can be a very sexual transit. Mars in the 5th house. But 12th house is also spirituality. Spiritual people. It's isolation. Anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because to invest, you have to temporarily lose money to make money. That's what I meant. Also, 12th house is foreign people, foreign places, foreign lands, multinational companies. So here we see there can be sudden changes here. Maybe you're suddenly becoming spiritual. Maybe you're suddenly wanting to travel to foreign places. Maybe you're having sudden losses. Maybe you're suddenly investing money. Maybe there's a transformation of your investments. And they're really starting to grow. Maybe there's a transformation of your spiritual views. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, I need a drink. 1 second. Okay. Alright, Pisces. So, Mars is transited into your 4th house in the sign of Gemini. And Mars is your energy and your drive. So, here we see 4th house is being energized. 4th house is your mother figures. 4th house is home, land, real estate. It's vehicles, it's cars. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, Mars is energizing this house. Maybe you have a lot going on with your mother right now. Maybe you're getting a new home or renovating a home or spending a lot of time at home. Maybe you're getting a new car, repairing a car. But Mars is a malefic. There can be issues here. There can be conflict with your mother, with the people in your home. There can be issues at home. There can be accidents. There can be issues with your car. Remember, Mars is cuts, burns, bruises, broken bones, accidents. Now, in particular, what we see with this is, could there be a car accident? Yes, depends on your timing, what dasha you're running. Dasha being a planetary or sign-based time period, for those that don't know. But 4th house is the chest and your upper back. So, that's the region of the body where this could take place. Those cuts, burns, bruises, hopefully not broken bones. Hopefully not either of them. Any of them. But alright. That's what I have for you, Pisces. Actually, I'm full of shit. I'm forgetting your aspects. Hold up, Pisces. Don't click off yet. Alright. 4th aspect is about conquest. It's falling on your 7th house. I'm losing my mind in this video. Alright. 7th house is relationships, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. So here, you can be overly domineering in relationships and business. You can be overly domineering with a lot of people. Be careful of that. But you want to succeed in relationships. You want to succeed in business. Maybe you're wanting to get into a new relationship. Maybe you're just wanting your business to grow. We can see that with this aspect as well. Now, 7th aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 10th house. 10th house is your managers, your bosses. 10th house is the workplace, so all the people in your work. 10th house is also government, especially national government. There can be conflict with these people. Conflict with managers, bosses, people in your workplace, government officials. So be careful with that. Now, the 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends. It's your network circles. It's large organizations. It's gains. It's stock market. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So, here we see there can be sudden changes with your elder siblings, with your friends, with your network circle, with a large organization that you're involved with. Sudden changes with your paternal aunts and uncles. There can be sudden gains here. Remember, Mars is in the 4th house of real estate, of vehicles, especially if you're involved in business tied to those. This can be an amazing transit. But there can be a sudden change with your hopes, wishes, and desires as well. Suddenly fulfilling desires, or your desires changing. But alright, now that's what I have for you, Pisces. Okay. But yeah, so that's what I have for all of you. Just be careful. Mars, like I said, can be a malefic. So whenever it moves, there can be, new cuts, burns, accidents, that kind of thing. But, be safe out there. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And to be notified when... And if you would like to support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well, is what I meant. Alright. I have lost my mind in this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.